So today we are getting our front window tint replaced with something a little bit better because we've not been able to see while we're driving at night. So here we are at this awesome little window tinting place. You can see behind me all of these cars. There's ours. And hopefully now we'll be able to see when we drive at night. So this is the place you want to come if you need any work done to your vehicle's windows, windshields. If you need a replacement or you need to get your window tint done, all of it, you do it here. So start to finish, that took us about an hour, maybe an hour and a half to get our front window redone. And now we can actually see out of it at night. We also had our front light bulbs replaced, our headlights. We're also going to have some floodlights installed today. We've made it to our next destination where we are getting the new floodlights installed. We definitely need to replace our traction pads. Over here at TJM, he carries some pretty high-end stuff. He's got your Dometic products, he's got Rigid, he even has their own brand, TJM, Front Runner. So if you need to outfit your vehicle, come give this guy a call. And he's pet friendly. So the funny thing is, this morning we came in here expecting to just talk to them about sourcing a roof rack for us, a direct mount roof rack to replace our roof rack. And we got so much more than that. We found a place to take off our front window tint and replace it with a different type of tint. He was also able to find us a place where we can get all of the interior washed, and that means like the carpets removed and steam cleaned and then put back in, all of the upholstery cleaned. And after 4 years of traveling on the road and all of the nasty terrain that we've been on, Dusty the Mudslinger definitely needs it. In addition to that, we found a place where we could have our brake calipers redone or potentially have to be replaced. And on top of all of that, we were able to leave with some floodlights that we have been debating whether or not to get. All in all, a very successful day. Turn them off. One of the most amazing things about doing all of these things is that we were able to come in and just have all of this done on the same day without having an appointment. So we do a vehicle inspection every time we leave to go somewhere new, anytime that we know that we're going to be out for an extended period of time. And Bronson found that our roof rack was broken. So Bronson, tell me how you found out that the roof rack was broken.
So I found out the roof rack is broken when I went like this, and I can see the flex in here. These screws got sheared, probably within the first year of driving, because all this weight is sitting in the front on this joint, when it should be spanning between the two strength points. So now we need to get a whole new rack, because this one's broken.
So we talked to the guy over at TJM, and he was very, very helpful in helping us try to source a direct mount roof rack. Turns out we have been talking to all the wrong people. We had talked to numerous places before, and they were all quoting us like $2,000 and more to replace our roof rack, and it was going to be a 3-week plus wait depending on shipping and how that went. He made like 3 phone calls this morning and found one guy that had a direct mount roof rack in stock with everything that we needed, and he could install it tomorrow. So we are off on an adventure today to go get our roof rack installed, replaced, and it's almost 9 o'clock right now. We're half an hour away and it's only 7 miles. How many cities do you get to drive through where your view is of these beautiful mountain tops? Somebody please tell me why we are driving on the left-hand side of the road. The first toll booth that we've come across since leaving Mexico. The place that we're going today is called Iron Man, and we're looking for him right now. Oh, we found it. Walking in, this place is incredible. Almost everything that you need to outfit your vehicle. I don't know that they realized that we already had a tent on our roof. They asked us if we wanted to have the rack installed today, but it seemed almost like they didn't know, even though we just talked to them yesterday. We are starting the process of taking the rooftop tent off so that we can replace our rack with a new roof rack. Hopefully get some of this rattling to stop. On the way to the shop this morning, we were driving through a town, and there was a guy on the side of the road parked at one of the stoplights, and he was yelling out of the window and making this motion. And as we approached him, he said in Spanish, "Those headlights that you have on the front of your car are very expensive." So the rooftop tent weighs about 160 pounds. The last time we took it off was because we had to repair it because we crashed into a roof of a low parking garage. Good job, guys. Good job. See, we took off one of the sides of the roof rack, and
This is how it should be. Screws are in here. It's tight, doesn't rattle. This is where the screws sheared, right here. And 2 years of driving should not be that way.
here is our old roof rack. There is always something to play with, not a katana. One of the guys that was helping install our roof rack just notified us that there is a place around the corner from where our car's getting worked on, where we could probably find some off-brand Max tracks. We went around the corner to a store called Nikita, where we were able to source some traction pads. They're going to be an off-brand, but they're only $90. So these are lower profile than our original roof rack, and this is a heavy-duty roof rack, so we shouldn't have any problems. New rack is installed. Now we got to figure out how to get the tent back on. A little lower profile, so now we shouldn't have any problems getting into a lot of those little parking garages. As usual, when you replace a factory part with a non-factory part, there's always going to be some issue that you're going to run into. For us right now, because we did the 3-bar system, we're going to have problems opening the sunroof. It's pretty low profile, so trying to get the sunroof open with that might create some problems. Start to finish for the roof rack took about an hour and a half. Now we're going to go and talk to the guy about getting some traction pads. So yesterday we waited all day to get our new traction pads, and they didn't come until like really late after we left the shop. So today we're going to go get our brakes looked at. We were planning on doing that yesterday, but got a little held up with the Max tracks. We arrived at our location, Cermac Taller, and they have told us that they're not sure that they can do it today, so we're waiting to hear. They want us to leave the vehicle with them, and I just don't know how long, so they're checking to see how long it's going to be. Bronson has a family emergency and he has to leave from the airport tomorrow morning. So if we have to leave it overnight, we're just not going to be able to do it. Cermac America is the name of this shop, and they are busy. That's our friend's vehicle right there. But they are also like a body shop, brake shop, anything you need to be fixed on your car shop. And the process to get in here is pretty legit. Like, they have a guy that stands at the gate, and then you have to basically request permission, tell them what you're here for, and then somebody opens the gate. It's almost like a jail in a way. They are doing some tests on our vehicle, checking the transmission, doing overall inspection. It looks like they're probably going to be checking the rear differential. It's been acting a little bit clunky. So there's our rear disc. There's our rear brake. They're doing like a right proper inspection. Roxy, what's that? What do you think, Doug? So we have good news and we have bad news. The good news is they can fix all the things that we need fixed. The bad news is there's kind of a lot of stuff and it's going to take 3 days. Bronson has to be back at the airport in the morning, and I told them that. So they're going to do a few things today so that we can drive it and be safe, and then I'm going to have to bring it back after we drop them off at the airport. The first thing is we have a leak in the seal over here from our differential, so they're going to have to refill all the differential fluid. And the parking brake here has been worn, so they have to replace that. And they need to do that for the brake on both sides. And then these discs are really thin on both sides, so we need to also replace those. These suspension pins are actually our stabilizer pins. Were bad a couple of weeks ago. We stopped in Liberia and just found some knockoff replacement screws so that we could just drive and be safe about it. So they noticed that too. They're going to replace both of those. We need to resurface the front brake pads, or the front brake disc. We're going to replace the air filter. And down here, where all of our stabilizer bars and whatnot, we need to replace the grommets there and there. They also need to adjust the rear differential and fill it with fluid because it's been leaking out of the rear. So we'll see. I have to bring the car back, and it's going to take 3 days to get all of it done. So we'll see. Today's the oil change and the air filter change, and they're going to resurface the brakes so that we can drive safely. So after a little bit of deliberation, we've decided that we're just going to leave Dusty the Mudslinger here, and we're going to try to get an Uber back to the hotel. It's going to take 2-3 days for the car to get fixed. They still have to order all the parts, so it might be longer than that. So I'm just going to hang out in San Jose for a week or so. All right, Dusty the Mudslinger. We will see you in a few days. See you guys on the flip side. Our Uber driver didn't take us to the right spot. He dropped us off at like this random condominium place, and turns out that the owner of the vehicle was following him in that vehicle, and for whatever reason, when he got to the destination he thought we were going, he had to drop us off because the owner was pissed off about something. I'm not really sure. I wasn't listening to their conversation. So we've tried 4 other Ubers, and every single one of them has canceled. We had one show up, and then when he saw the dog, he's like, I'm sorry, I can't accept dogs. So now we walk. It's a 25-minute drive from where the other Uber driver just dropped us off. And it's an hour-and-a-half walk. These roads are really busy. We're in the middle of a city and we're off of the major highway. I just talked to one of the taxistas and I asked him if we could bring our dog. He said that they can only accept animals if they are in a cage. And we're still walking. We've taken so many breaks along the way. This poor little dog's little paws. At 14 years old, she's got little soft paws. And we're still walking. We are almost there. We have finally arrived. Join us next time when we pick up the car and continue our journey through Costa Rica. See you soon.